Right now, I'm going to ask Mike Gleason to come on up. And for those of you who don't remember Mike, he handles some of our insurance. So, and if you all recall last Thursday's meeting, needless to say, there were a lot of questions and et cetera, and maybe even a little bit confused, some of us up here and even some in the audience. So what I'd like to do to help it keep a little more organized is, Linda, I'm going to start off with you. If you have any questions for Mike in regards to our insurance with him, if you would.
The question I would have is, as the broker of record, you therefore, once you secure a quote from a company, no one else can get a quote from that particular company, correct?
For property casualty, that is correct.
Okay. If you did not have the broker of record issued from us to you, could you still get quotes from other companies?
You don't need to issue a letter for me to go get quotes. So no, there doesn't have to be an official letter for me to get quotes, no.
Okay. But is it reasonable to say then that we have to give a market to, if we want other quotes, so that there's not overlapping of the company from insurance brokers?
If you wanted to do that, you certainly could, absolutely.
Okay. That's all I have.
Nick?
Mike, if you just could briefly explain how the whole process works as far as, you do property casualty and you search, you look at a few different companies. How many companies roughly are you looking at for the different types of insurance that we handle? And kind of explain that process if you could.
Well, there's a certain amount of companies that will quote a public entity. So it's a specialty niche as far as insurance goes. It's not your everyday coverages. There's a lot of moving parts to it. There's a lot of different coverages. So there's a very small world of insurance carriers that will go after your business. When I say small, I mean probably a handful in Western Pennsylvania that are active and that are writing and trying to write new business. So my company, Arthur J. Gallagher, is the largest broker for public entities in the country. So what we do is we try to find new insurers that are willing to compete for your business. So what we do is we find insurance companies, we shop out your coverages every year and try to get you the best deal. So, as most my clients hire me for that expertise and to be the broker for the municipality and get quotes for them. So that's the process we worked through here. Last year we saved 3% on the property casualty. The premiums went down.
Okay. Yeah, so you said you're as far as like a national company, Arthur Gallagher is. Does that help as far as finding better rates, as far as does it spread liability?
Well, what it does is you hire a broker for a couple reasons. One of them is trust. So you have to trust that person that they're bringing the best deals to the table. Number two is you want the person representing you in the marketplace that's going to deliver the most business or a lot of business to these carriers so that they have negotiating power with these carriers. So for Gallagher being big for the municipality is a plus that we have a lot of weight, a lot of volume with most of these carriers, and we can negotiate the best deals we can.
Anything else?
Not right now, actually.
Ron?
Thanks.
Do you provide our health insurance?
I'm the broker for the health insurance, and that is currently under an RFP, which is due on, I believe, the 25th.
Okay.
Yes.
And have you ever competed with other brokers in the same city or town?
Sure. Yeah.
How do they work that? How do they do that?
There's different ways you can do that, and I think Tim has outlined the various ways that if you wanted to bring in other brokers, or you could. I mean, that's what.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you were assigned certain coverages to go get prices on, and you went to insurance company A, another broker couldn't go to that same insurance company, correct?
If you're assigned those carriers, correct, yes.
They would have to go find somebody else to compete with your bid, right?
Right, yes.
That's what I meant. So you have competed with, like a bid process
Oh, yeah, absolutely, it happens, yeah, there's no doubt.
Is there any towns close to us that have done that you?
Well, the last one I competed in an RFP process was Ross Township, and that was last year, and we were chosen as to the broker in that.
Have you ever bid like the city of Pittsburgh?
Recently, I did put in, they had an RFP process that, for their excess workers' comp program, yes.
Jim?
Yeah, I wasn't going to ask anything. I'm trying real hard to understand. I really am. This has been going on for a long time. Do you need, I got to get the right, do you need to be the broker of record to get a quote from an insurance company?
It's not, the process
It's a
is,
simple yes or no.
no. I mean, it depends. That's the answer. I mean, it depends.
So if I were to say Bob and Fred or whoever, two other folks were standing there beside you from obviously different companies, could the three of you in turn go out and shop our insurance? Or is there something that stops that from happening?
No, there are, I mean, there's people that put out an blanket RFP and say, here's our coverages, have at it, and see what you can
understand.
bring to the table. Absolutely, you can do
Okay.
that.
All right. You answered my question. Thank you.
Paul?
No question, sir.
Steve?
If that was to happen, a competitive type thing, would the broker of record have advantage? Is he privy to other things that whoever would come in and compete with you?
Well, I mean, it's all based on, public record or public information that the administration would share in that process for people to get quotes. But, there's a lot of different factors involved in, how the insurance carriers, if you do assign the carriers to the different companies, you could go that way. But, I mean, if you have to figure out the process to assign. So, I mean, it gets very complex. But that's something administration would run if they wanted to do that, for sure.
We're hearing through our discussion of this matter for quite some months that a broker of record would have an advantage over somebody just coming in, but you're saying that's not the case. So.
Well, no, I mean, not the case if, it depends on how you run the situation. If you do a blanket RFP,
So that would be up to our manager?
that's up to the,
Oh.
that's up to the manager of how to run it. It's not up to me. I mean, so typically, you get into a situation like that where the administration is dissatisfied with the job their broker's doing. And then if that's the case, then, that can happen. The process can go forward.
No, I'm not stating that that's the case.
Well, and I wasn't inferring that. I was just saying, but that's typically when that happens.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, Steve?
No, I have no more.
Tom?
Okay, is Arthur Gallagher a global company, or is it just a local?
No, it's a global company. They have
Okay.
offices all over the
Okay,
world.
and this is one office of theirs, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Please bear with me, I have some information I'd like to share. The definition of a broker of record. In insurance, a broker of record is an agent designated by the policyholder to represent and manage the policyholder's insurance policy. The broker of record may receive copies of all communications to the policyholder, and may receive all quotes, policies, and notices on behalf of the policyholder. They may also obtain and evaluate insurance quotes and policies and recommend changes to existing policies. Have you, as your company and have you made recommendations to changing some of our existing policies?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give me an example, please?
Last year, we changed the property casualty coverages, not all of them, but some of them, to get better pricing.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I wear hearing aids.
Last year, we changed the property casualty on some of the lines of business in order to get better rates, resulting
were able to
resulting in
save
a 3%
You were
reduction
able to save us 3%.
last
Is that
year.
right?
Correct.
And what is our total cost of our insurance?
I have it right here. Can I
Somebody
grab
have it? Oh, okay, yeah.
$577,640.
Okay, so the 3% was?
The 3% was 596,061 minus 577. That works out to, my calculator, I got to turn my phone on.
15,000. How much was it?
About 15,000 roughly.
Right. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this a step further. Breaking down the broker of record. Broker of record can serve an individual or may assist a company, for example, with handling the health insurance policies of its employees. In return, the broker of record may earn a monthly commission from the health insurance company. I'm using health insurance as an example. Okay? Broker of record letter is used to legally establish a relationship between the broker, policyholder, and the insurance company. Is that correct?
The definition sounds relatively on spot.
Okay. Such a letter can be used to designate a broker of record for the first time or to replace an existing broker of record with a new one. Okay? So what I'm asking, what I'm hearing is that the broker of record blocks out anybody else to compete for our insurance. That's what I'm hearing with this.
Blocks out?
Well,
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
It doesn't let any competition come in and bid on our insurance.
If the administration decided to change the broker, they could bring that up, you could vote on it, and I wouldn't be the broker anymore.
The manager was instructed at one point in time to send a revocable letter, or a letter of revocation to the broker of record. Okay? Now, if that happened, that would have taken you away from being the broker of record. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with a revocation of broker of record. The carriers would still...
Well, let's say we send you a letter and say you're not the broker of record any longer.
Well, then you're firing me.
Okay. Okay. So then what happens at that point?
Well, you wouldn't have a broker.
Right, right. So then we could open it up to other candidates.
You could hire another broker, that is correct.
Okay. Okay. All right, now that you're the broker of record, okay, now you and your company are only able, are the ones that are able to go out and solicit prices for the insurance, correct?
Are you talking property casualty or
I'm
benefits?
talking whatever.
Well, it depends.
Pardon me?
It depends.
What?
It depends.
Depends.
It depends.
It depends.
Depends on the situation.
Well, I'm talking about the casualty, what we're talking about today, right now.
Okay, property casualty. What was your question again? Do I block out other brokers?
If you're the broker of record, or are you and your company the only agent that can go out and solicit quotes for the municipality?
Only if the administration decides that that's the way it's going to be.
Okay, well, it sounds like the administration has decided that.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It depends on what how council wants to approach this.
If I could ask a question, Tim, if you could help me out with this, or Mike. So let's say tomorrow, Mr. Little wanted to get other quotes for property and casualty. You could seek numbers from other companies for quotes on property and casualty from different companies, correct?
You could, like Mike said, like we talked about last Thursday, you can assign markets. You would have to assign markets to different brokers.
Right, because obviously Mike would already, Arthur Gallagher would already have, they already have the policies, so that's what we're currently have.
They would have Great American, who we currently have right now with respect to property and casualty. You could, broker B could have Travelers, broker C can have Scottsdale, if Scottsdale's still in the, you could assign different companies, different insurance companies.
And Mike, even currently, as you currently, the broker of record, we currently have policies, could you right now shop for other coverage under our current policies?
Well, that's what we've done every year. I mean,
I know you do it annually, but I mean, could you do it mid-year?
well, it is that time right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, we would normally be in the beginning of the process right now. So you would have quotes in time for the renewal.
Okay. I have a couple more things. How do you determine our rates? How are our rates determined?
The rates are determined by the underwriters through the underwriting process. They are based upon the exposures of the municipality, how many vehicles you have, what your property values are, what your payrolls are, and what your claims experience is, what your losses are.
When you say claims experience, what does that mean?
Well, I can equate it to if you have an auto policy and you wreck your car 3 or 4 times, your rates are going to go up. So that's what I mean by claims experience.
Are you aware that that's illegal today?
I am not aware of that,
Well,
and this is what I do for a living, so that would be a big shocker for me,
Well,
Tom.
I'm going to shock you then. Okay? When it comes to insurance, customers can be loyal to a fault. This is the editorial in yesterday's Post-Gazette. Higher premium, to a fault, paying higher premiums because they neglect to look for better rates, a consumer advocacy group says. Insurance companies deny punishing drivers for loyalty, but 8 states, including Pennsylvania, are suspicious enough to issue stern warnings that practice is illegal. Customers, to be safe, had better shop around. The Consumer Federation of America, based in Washington, D.C., has accused Allstate and other insurers of price optimization, setting prices on market factors rather than a driver's risk. The consumer group says that nearly 60% of consumers pay more than they should for insurance because they fit a profile of customers who never bother to investigate other companies that would offer them better rates. Another consumer advocate, Consumer Reports, has called it a schmo tax, a penalty dealt the gullible and the loyal. Another relevant term is price gouging, exploitive pricing based on circumstances, not the cost of service or goods. And here in Pennsylvania, it's illegal, as the insurance commissioner, Teresa Miller, noted in her warning last month to insurers. Meanwhile, Consumer Reports suggests a way around the practice that anybody should question a rate, especially if it's gone up, comparison shop, and think twice before signing automatic renewal. In this way, consumers can practice price optimization too. I'd be happy to give this to you.
Yeah, I read the same thing, and they're not talking about what I'm talking about as far as the...
Oh, we're not?
No.
Oh, okay.
And it's perfectly legal for businesses to be underwritten based upon their claims.
I'm sorry, can't hear you.
It's legal for businesses to be underwritten based on their claims. So if you have really good claims experience, your rates are here.
Yeah.
That article, as far as I know, was talking about a lot of different factors beyond just claims. They were talking about where people live, what their credit scores were, what areas they lived in, how poor they were. At least that's what I
think the
thought.
key, Mike, I think the key here is the key is that the consumer group says that nearly 60% of consumers pay more than they should because they fit a profile.
That's probably true.
Okay. Wait, let me find where I need to go here. Basically, what they're telling us is that we need to shop around, and we haven't shopped around.
We shop around every year, and we have
Well,
every year.
I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about this body up here. We have not shopped around.
And I can assure you, you're not being gouged, because
No,
we
I'm
go to
not saying
market
that.
every.
I'm not gonna
Well,
accuse you of anything.
But that's what you were
But
talking
there-
about in the article.
But there's no way for us to compare.
We do
Is there?
compare it every year. We compare.
I don't
rates.
see a way we can compare.
Yeah, Mike, when do you, because I know you present every year to
Every year.
us.
The marketing summary. We
Yeah,
present the
what
carriers.
month is that, whenever you present? Because I know, in the past, I know you always present the different insurance carriers, the quotes you get from the different insurance companies.
In December typically, and we show every insurance company we go to, we give you letters showing, Tim gets all the letters showing who we approached and what the underwriters say. So we give you the actual emails of people, the underwriters, and what they say. So it's a very transparent process.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience.